G'day YouTubers, we're back in the van for episode number 2 of the diesel heater install. If you haven't already watched episode 1, I'll put the link up here and you can check that out first. Today we'll be just finishing off what's left of this install, so most of that's under the van or related to the fuel system. So let's get into it.
So one of the common problems with these cheap heaters is the fuel filter that they provide. So that's what the fuel filter looks like that came with it, and I don't think I'm even going to bother using it, because then they're known to crack, and you'll spill diesel all through your van, or all over the your driveway or something. So what you actually get is one of these. It's a Ryco fuel filter. These are a generic one. They're available, your Super Cheap, Repco, any real auto parts store, and you'll be looking for that part code Z675 is the one to get. So before we start clambering under the van, we will get the fuel hose put onto that.
So we're going to put the hole through the dinette now. We want it somewhere about there. So it's as simple as that. And that'll fit in there. Very snug. So we've basically just chucked the 2 hose clamps on the side of that. That makes it easier than doing it in the tight space under the van. So basically when you get these tanks, the fittings are actually inside it. So they're in a little bag inside the tank. They include the screws for more self-tappers for mounting this onto something, as well as the bits you need to install the the outlet of this into the tank. So if you take the mounting equipment out, you're left with these 4 pieces. So basically what happens is this needs to go in through the tank, with one of those sitting on that side. It'll go through the tank, another rubber grommet on the other side, and this nut to lock it off. So what we'll do is we'll put the rubber grommet on the one side, and then this will go through the tank, and we'll drill a hole and then we'll put that through. I'll show you how to do that now. So these flat sections here are where you need to mount the outlet. So what we'll do is we'll drill a small pilot hole, and then we'll go and then we'll widen it out to the right size. So I think that should be about right. Yeah, that's the. So we'll poke this wire back through the hole that we've just made, and out through the top. Like so. And then we just simply put the fitting on the wire. And we can pull it through like so. So now we have the fitting on there. So we'll carefully put the rubber grommet on, which is on the outside. So you've got one on the inside, one on the outside, as I said before. And then we have our nut that basically just locks it on provides a bit of pressure onto the grommets. So now I've mounted the filter just near the tank. So I'm ready to mount the dosing pump now. So the dosing pump, I don't know if you can see that, but I've got a slight angle on the pump. It flows this way and it pulses this way. So basically these pumps are much better pushers than pullers. So you want to mount it closer to your tank. If you've got a decent span between the intake and your tank, you want to mount it closer to your tank. So we're going to mount that under the van like that at a slight angle, and then we can proceed with cutting the lines and running the lines to the actual unit.
So this is what the setup looks like under the van. That's the drain pipe cover that we're using as a heat protector, and then we've got the exhaust going out that way. I'll probably need to extend it so it actually goes outside the van. Over this way we've got the intake, so the intake is there. You can see where I've ground back the metal to put the ground there, and then I've spray painted it black. It probably would have been better silver, but anyway. And then here you've got the fuel line that goes all the way back over to the pump. I don't know whether you can see that. The pump over there. And then the line goes underneath that into the front boot section. And then we've got this is the cable that goes back up through the little hole there next to the unit inside. So here in the front of the van we have the diesel tank, and then I don't know if you can see around that side, but that's where I've got the filter, and it goes through the drain hole of this front boot. So that's, what I've heard is that you need to have this ideally in a dark place and as cool as possible, so hopefully the front boot does the job for that.
Well, that concludes the installation part of these videos. Join us next time where we fire up the heater for the first time, hopefully with no fire. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. That'll help us a lot. Thanks everyone.